Hi, I'm Alex Mandrika, the lead designer of Belong, and today I want to do a follow-up video of our preview of Nightreign, Elden Ring Nightreign, and now debrief. It's been 2 weeks since the game has been out, and discuss what it means for co-op games, and also discuss the emerging trend of community-driven development. So the game has been released 2 weeks ago, and we've seen great initial response. It sold more than 3.5 million copies and reached over 300k concurrent players on Steam. And it really shows the strength of the IP, the Elden Ring IP, and the growing interest of co-op PvE games. The initial community reaction was mixed. There was a lot of problems that we also had doubts on. Key co-op features were lacking. No duos, only solo game and trios. Also weak communication features, no in-game chat, only limited ping system made the game difficult to play. Customization in run was weak, not allowing a lot of different builds. Limited amount of classes available, and also the meta progression felt redundant for a lot of players. And overall, it was too much of a departure from the existing Elden Ring and Souls-like games, which made it disappointing for a lot of core fans of the IP. Also, it felt like there was a limited amount of content with redundant bosses, and compared to the price tag, it felt like the delivery and the offer was not up to par for the audience. All of this we also predicted and was widely predicted by a lot of the streamers and commentators in the community at large. But what's key is that all of these concerns has been expressed right when the game was first announced and after the network test. And what's interesting is that even the modders, they started working on patches for this right away when the game was first announced, and they already had working mods for duos and to fix the solo experience days before From Software even announced anything. Now, just a couple days ago, From Software announced that they would address the community concerns. It is encouraging, even though they could have anticipated and reacted to this even before the early tests and before releasing the game. So it looks like they're playing catch up now. Hopefully this is a good lesson for them and they can include community feedback early on in the cycle and be more proactive in their development. Now that makes me think of the topic of community-driven development, and I want to go back to how it emerged. I think one of the first moments was Kickstarter, when in 2012, Team Schafer and Double Fine really had a big breakthrough Kickstarter campaign. And at first it was basically asking for the community to fund a game based on an early pitch. And that really opened up a big phase of community-driven development, basically showing early pitch and asking for funding. Then we had the growth of games like Roblox, and then more recently UEFN, where UGC, user-generated content, became a big part of that movement, basically incentivizing players to build content to be played by other players in the community. Then I think the third phase was games like Helldivers 2, basically enrolling players to be part of community events. And I think it took place in two shapes. One, the whole fantasy of that game was basically to enroll players with the very meme-like messaging of joining the fight and do your part to save Super Earth. And they did it in a way that they gave the players tools to build their own messaging and their own basically recruitment videos to share on social media, offering the tools to players to recruit other players to join the community. And with their community event, they had a huge investment from the community, and that really showed up in the battle for Equality on Sea and Prosperity City when they were defending Super Earth. That really drew a lot of attention from Chinese players, but also other players across the globe to rally against these two last cities of Super Earth to defend the game, to defend Super Earth. And that brought up to 130k players to fight together for these last bastions of Super Earth. So that was I think the most recent example. But with Elden Ring and Nightreign, what we see is even before Nightreign, modders were already showing up that seamless co-op and random Nightreign were the two most popular mods on the platform. And I've always been jealous of games that had modding, because the games I worked on were always turned down with modding, saying, oh, it's too expensive. But I can only imagine that From Software looked at the popularity of these mods and really showed them that there was an opportunity, a gap in the market, and an unsatisfied need for their community. And I can only imagine that it reinforced the idea of Nightreign being an interesting product to develop. It showed us that innovating to leverage community feedback through funding, content creation, or just driving the design of your product, or even creating viral hype and help discovering your game, is a growing trend. With the emerging trend of social co-op games, we believe that maximizing community engagement can help you fight market saturation and improve the discoverability of your game. Belong, we're looking for ways to shake the existing models and put the social experience at the center of our design. By establishing short feedback loop and early with our players, and by tailoring our game to what they really need, we think that it's going to be the best for everyone. So we want your opinion. What do you think of the community response for Elden Ring, Nightreign, and From Software answer to this? How do you see community-driven development evolve in the future? How do you think about using it for your own game development? And how do you want to see it evolve? Thanks a lot for listening to this video, and let's catch up later.